unfortunately take place in Washington, D.C., the Congresswoman has to fly up to take care of your needs in D.C. I'm going to begin today's program by introducing the president of JSA, Allison Novak. It's been my pleasure to be Allison's teacher for the last 3 years. She'll be graduating this year. It's not often in a teacher's career that they meet a student blessed with fine intellect and fine organizational and social skills. That certainly defines Allison. She runs her own company, 1308 Productions, has been quite active in Rock the Vote meetings, and last year was able to appear on a BBC documentary in England on the presidential election between President Obama and Senator McCain. So without further ado, the president of JSA, Allison Novak.
Sorry I'm losing my voice today, but I just wanted to start with asking you all a question. How many people in here are registered to vote? And I know not all of you are 18 yet. How many people in here are under 18, 16 or 17, who are registered to vote? Okay, that is possible. Once you're 16, you're able to register to vote. And when you turn 18, you'll just automatically be able to vote. So if none of you have done that, if any of you have not done that yet, just know that that's possible. I'm the president of the Junior State of America chapter here at Miami Beach Senior High. Our goal is to create youth activism in the school. Our goal is to really get you guys to become more active and involved in politics. And politics doesn't just have to be a national thing. Politics can be anything from big international issues to national issues about the president, let's say, or down to the governor in the state, down to local things in Miami Beach, and even down to here at your very own school. You all have a say in anything you do, and each one of you as a student is a part of this school as a whole. This is your community here. So it's important for you all to get involved. If any of you want to join JSA, you could talk to Mr. Spiegelman, who's our advisor. We're going on a Washington, D.C. trip soon, and later in the year we're going to Orlando. I just wanted to thank a couple people before I move along. First of all, my dad, Paul Novak, who helped me get Congresswoman here. Also, all of you guys for attending, all of the government and economics, history teachers, all of the teachers here today. And I wanted to say that our Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Slayton in here today is very special because not only it gives you guys a chance to see what's happening in politics. All of the things that you have learned in your government and history classes, you can really see it alive here. And our Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Slayton is somebody who really does get involved. She really does care about what young people and students think. She's somebody that you can see around your neighborhood and who isn't just in her office. And she's really out there. She really does care about what young people think. She's helped me and a lot of youth a lot. And somebody who is a lot like her, in a way, is our principal, Dr. Seidner. Can I have a round of applause? She is also here for all of you guys, and she does care what you think, and she gets things done very efficiently, and she is just, you really should appreciate having her as your principal. She's done everything in the world for you guys, so I'm going to introduce you to her now. Here's Dr. Seidner.
We are involved in politics at the local level too. As a matter of fact, tomorrow at 5:30, Mr. Nelson and myself and the tennis team and some parents, the PTSA, are going to meet with the Miami Beach City Commission to lobby for tennis courts at Flamingo Park for our team. I'd like to introduce to you Ileana Ross-Slayton, and she really cares. She's very vivacious. She went to Southwest Miami Senior High School. She then went to Miami-Dade College. And she also went to Florida International University. Oh, yeah. And she also earned a doctorate from the University of Miami.
Okay.
Ms. Leighton was first elected to the United States Congress in 1989, so she's been serving in Congress for 21 years. She is the first Hispanic woman to be elected to Congress and the first Cuban American to be elected to Congress. So without any further ado, give a lifetime welcome for Ileana Leighton.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure it is to be here at Beach High. Go High Tides. And thank you, Allison. Come on over here. I just am astounded at the poise and the wonderful way in which you express yourself. And, you know, studies have found that public speaking is one of the most frightening experiences for anyone. And if I get any one of you up here on the stage, sometimes people clam up and they don't know what to say and they stammer about. And Allison is so poised and really is destined for wonderful things. Not only does she have a great set of parents, and I've known her dad especially for a number of years, but what a wonderful representative that you have in Allison, and I'm sure that she's so proud to be here at Beach High with a great bunch of kids. I'm really impressed with the student body of this school. So thank you for the invitation. Allison is the reason that I'm here. She invited me to come, and I said, sure enough. And then she called again. She said, when are you coming? I said, okay, I'm coming. So thank you, Allison. Let's give her applause. I'm going to hang on to, I'm going to give Allison my watch, so she's got to get me on a tight schedule, because I don't have my own plane yet. I'm working on it. But here's my boarding pass to prove to you that I really do have to leave earlier than I had intended. One of the great things about Congress is that you live moment to moment. But one of the bad things about it is that it's very difficult to plan. It's difficult to plan with your family, when we don't want to let down every time you say, okay, we're having dinner, and then, oh no, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. So it's a little tough on the family, but it's also tough on the folks you represent, because you make plans and you want to be here. And then I've got great news last night, but unfortunately got it last night, and the news was that they had just put out the schedule for today's votes. And the last bill to be debated today is one of my resolutions. It's Holocaust remembrance, and it's commemorating another anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, concentration camp, etc. And it was not on the schedule when they released the schedule last week, but it changes day to day. So you have to be very flexible when you're a member of Congress, because things change all the time. And yes, I could have somebody be in charge of my bill, but my golly, I work hard on my bills, so I want to be there and be able to present it. So if you look at C-SPAN today, I should be up there. I think I land, takes off at whatever. I land at 2:15, and it should be on the floor at 2:30. So I'm counting my minutes. If you can put that in my bag there. So, but I did not want to say in the last minute, oh no, I can't go, because Allison would be calling me up and nagging me again to come. So I said, okay, I'm going to come to the school and then run over to the airport without breaking any speed limits zones, of course. And, but I've got a great job, and I hope that here are future members of Congress. If you had asked me when I was a student at Southwest High School, just like you are a student here at Beach High, that I would one day be a member of Congress, I would say, estás loco. De ninguna manera. No me interesaba la política en lo mínimo. I was involved in the school, but I was not involved in student government, and I was not interested in politics at all. I was always interested in being a teacher, which is what I did. I went to Southside Elementary School in Little Havana, where I grew up. Then we moved to Huachete, like lots of Cuban American families. Then I went to West Miami, was then junior high. and then Southwest High School. Then I went to, as you heard from your principal, Miami-Dade College. It was then called Miami-Dade Junior College back in the day. Then it became Community College. Now it's just Miami-Dade College. And then FIU, where I received my bachelor's and my master's degree in education. And then just a few years ago, I received my doctorate in education at the University of Miami. I was already a member of Congress then, but getting a doctorate was just something I always wanted to do, and it was just something for me, not for employment purposes. It was just a dream of mine always to get my doctorate, and I was able to. At the same time I was going to Congress. It took me a long time to get it, but I got it. But I was never involved in politics at any of those places that I mentioned. So you never know where your life will take you and what God has in store for you and what you have in store for yourself. But I do know this. I know that a solid education is the foundation for anything that you set out to do. I know that my years of getting an education were years well spent, and they prepared me to be an effective legislator and an effective member of Congress. And I could be doing many other things. I love what I do. I love being a member of Congress. First of all, we had talked about what it feels like to be in the State of the Union speech. And it is exhilarating, even for those of us who were not political junkies and did not really grow up in a political family. It's wonderful. I've served with President Bush the father, and then I served 8 years with President Clinton, then 8 years of George W. Bush, and now 1 year of President Obama. And it's wonderful. It's a great opportunity to be there in Congress passing good laws. I served when Republicans were in the minority. I served when Republicans were in the majority. I serve now when we're sort of in limbo. And who knows what will happen in November. But there's not a bad seat in the House. It's an exciting place. And then here in Miami, in the South Florida, what I do is we help a lot of people with different problems that they have with the federal government. Medicare, Medicaid, immigration. Did I mention immigration? And then a little bit more of immigration. We do a lot of immigration work. And public housing, veterans benefits. This Tuesday, for example, we have an exciting day in our district office. I have an office in Southwest Miami, and we're going to present medals to a family where their World War II medals of their father, now long dead, they were lost in a fire, and we've recuperated their medals by working with the Veterans Affairs, and we're going to present those medals to their family members who are still living. So it's a great opportunity to help people. So here in the Miami office, we help people with many problems that they have, and in DC, we get involved with the issues that you deal with every day, the president's budget, our budget, etc. And here's my voting card. I'll pass it around, and here you go. But please make sure I get it back before I leave. I already forgot my pin, I noticed. The pin helps me in Congress because it's very hard for the Capitol Police to know all of us and our faces, and so the pin is an identifying symbol for them to know, oh, that's a member of Congress. You can bypass the security, at least in the Capitol. I can't bypass security in the airport. And then I forgot my pin, so if I leave and I forget my card, I'm gonna be in real trouble this week. They won't let me in the building. So thank you, Allison. You'll make sure I get my card back. So you can just, that card is a very expensive credit card. We have, if you've ever been to Congress, they're sort of set up like this a little bit, except they're pews like in church rather than individual seats. And then at the end of certain rows, you have a little box and you put your card in and you vote. Green for yes, obviously red for no, and then orange for present. And I love my job. I love everything about it. We have constituent appointments in Miami, people who want to meet with me, and then we get invitations to come to great places like this. What's the complaint about? You get to do whatever you like to do. And I love to go to schools, I love to meet with people, go to different events, work on legislation. There's no bad day in Congress. A lot of people, a lot of my colleagues, they're always complaining and yapping. I'm not a negative sort of person, so I love what I'm doing, and if I didn't love it, I'd be doing something else. How did I get in politics? I'm just going to tell you a little story, and then I'm going to get to your questions, because I hear that I have 8 questions, and I'm going to answer them all. We're going to do them real fast so I can get out of here. How did I get in politics? I have no idea. I used to run a private elementary school in Hialeah, because I was a teacher, ran it with my family, and I got to know the parents of my school, and I saw that they had a lot of problems, and I thought, I wonder what I can do to help them with these problems. And I said, you know, if I ran for office and I could set policy, that would be a way that I could help parents. And then I signed up with my dad at a campaign school. We knew nothing about how to run a campaign. So we attended a campaign school for 4 days, and they taught us how to run a campaign. And we followed it to the letter, and I ran in, I got elected in '82 for the State House. I served 4 years in Tallahassee in the State House, 3 years in the State Senate in Tallahassee, and now 20 years in Congress, starting my 21st year. So it's a lot of fun. If you like to meet people and solve problems and help people, public service is the way to go. So I'm married. I have two daughters. They're older now. One is going to be graduating in May. She goes to Yale. Will be going to law school. The other one, the older one, graduated from Brown. She's in LA working. And kids grow up. I'm against it. I want them to be little forever. There were 2 and 3 when I first got elected to Congress. I can't believe it. And now I'm looking around here and I see a lot of wonderful, bright faces. So, Ken, how do we do this? They've got somebody told me that they've got 8 questions for me. The first row, okay. But I haven't seen the questions, and you can ask me anything, and I'll give you shorter answers.